December 16, 2014, Pakistani terrorists massacred 150 people, including 130 children at Army Public School, Peshawar. Pakistan tried them in a military court and has already hanged 4 of them. Just compare this to 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, where the trial is still hanging fire. A blatant example of Pakistani double standards, good terrorists versus bad terrorists. Let me put that question to Jan Mohammad Achakzai, a strategic affairs expert and a politician in Pakistan. I also have with me Meenakshi Lekhi, BJP MP, who's leading India's charge on the broadcast. Jan Achakzai, explain this. Why no action against 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks when you've already hanged those involved in the Peshawar army school attacks?
We are at war against external terrorism and internal terrorism. Not only non-state actors we are fighting against, and Peshawar incident's military court decision proved it, that we do not recognize any non-state actors as good or bad. And secondly, we are also fighting against the Indian-sponsored terrorism in Balochistan and border regions that might be good militants to India. But
Meenakshi Lekhi, isn't this just platitudes? Just platitudes? They've hanged terrorists who've killed their children and no action against 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Meenakshi Lekhi,
deliver justice according to what you would like to.
Meenakshi Lekhi.
Well, Mr. Achakzai, if I may express myself, my concern for terrorism across the world, and process, there cannot be any good terrorists or bad terrorists, and terrorists, until and unless are seen in the same light, we cannot really control terrorism. And that is where the duplicity is established, because against certain terrorists the forces have not taken the requisite action, and as a peace-loving nation we are against all forms of terrorism. So simply by blaming us for something which is happening in your country will not do.
Seriously, it will not do. It will not do.
Evidence was handed over.
Yes.
The dossier was handed over to Pakistan. Pakistan should have acted on it. And
Spot
it's
on.
never too late.
Exactly. Do it now. Mr. Achakzai, explain this to us. Explain this to us, Mr. Achakzai. No. Listen to this. Listen to this, Mr. Achakzai. Listen to me. Listen to me, sir. No. Nobody's buying that. 9 terrorists in Peshawar, 9 terrorists killed in Mumbai.
If you are saying that India is innocent, ask Sikh community in India. If you are saying that India is innocent,
Mr. Achakzai, listen to me first.
Very clear.
Why not a military court for 26/11 at terrorists? Why not a military court for 26/11? No, there is no point of everyone talking at the same time, Mr. Achakzai.
You have even evidence from person like David Headley, which is not being taken into account.
You ask the question.
Look, this will become, Mr. Achakzai and Meenakshi Lekhi, hang on for a moment. Hang on for a moment. Let this not become the Tower of Babel. Hold on. One person at a time. One person at a time. Hold on, Mr. Achakzai.
Now,
hold on. No, listen to me.
Your choice of answer, which I can't help you.
No, I don't want your help. I want you to go after those terrorists. Why not a military court for the terrorists who attacked in Mumbai? Why not a military court there?
Just because India has allegation against Pakistan does not mean that it can be established in Pakistan's court and rule of law. We have a constitution to work with.
And your constitution stops you from going after Indian terrorists who attack India?
Sponsorship in Pakistan, in Balochistan province, in Fata.
No. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this, sir?
You are saying sitting on Indian TV and propagating and making a case. We cannot deliver justice just because you wish us to do according to what you are saying. So if
okay, and let Meenakshi Lekhi respond.
It has to be submitted in proof,
let me just address you.
Now hold on, Mr. Achakzai. Listen to Meenakshi Lekhi. She's a lawyer. Listen to her.
I'm one against two. So it's not going to work like that if you do not want me to finish my point. So
I don't want platitudes on the broadcast. I don't want platitudes.
Rhetoric and shouting.
Absolutely no rhetoric on the broadcast.
What is this
arguments, because there are straight questions
in
and
Nepal?
answers need
what
to
is
be
the
very,
India
very
doing
straight.
In Bhutan?
We are on 26/11. Don't try to divert it to Balochistan. If there are terrorist activities in Balochistan, kindly deal with them. We are not coming in the way of
can we have a civilized discussion? You don't have to rant.
specific
Hold on, Mr.
questions.
Achakzai.
Question
Please
you
don't
on
rant.
that.
And you are
Number
proving
one,
innocent.
if you are
cannot
fighting
play
terrorism,
both. You
don't
can-
use
Mr.
terrorism
Achakzai, please do
as
not
an
rant.
act of
Let me set the ground
statecraft.
rules.
To believe.
Meenakshi Lekhi and Achakzai, Mr. Achakzai, give me 30 seconds. Now let's not rant. Give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you what. Mr. Achakzai, you speak for 30 seconds, then you keep quiet. And then let Meenakshi Lekhi speak for 30 seconds. Then she will keep quiet. And then I will ask my question. I will not have crosstalk on
Alright,
the broadcast. Now please wait. Meenakshi
please.
Lekhi, respond to Achakzai's point.
You see, Mr. Achakzai is trying to bring in Balochistan and is trying to tarnish our image. Let me just tell him, if there are terrorists operating in Balochistan, kindly deal with them. But the Baloch issue is far more complicated than you are trying to make it to the public or people at large in the world. Second, if Peshawar terrorism was bad, so was 26/11, because people who are growing on your earth are spreading their tentacles across the border in other countries, and they are terrorists. Kindly deal with them under the law. While you deal with them under the law, you can't use terrorism as an instrument of statecraft, and that is where you are missing the point.
Thank you.
Number
now,
three,
Mr. Achakzai, no, Meenakshi Lekhi, let me get him to respond. Meenakshi Lekhi, hold. Meenakshi Lekhi, please hold. Let me get him to respond. Meenakshi Lekhi, please hold, ma'am.
Now, in my
Meenakshi
opinion,
Lekhi, please
if
hold,
you are
ma'am.
going to make a
Now, let me
weak
Meenakshi
case
Lekhi,
to
please
be
hold.
Now, let me
adequate
respond,
Okay,
please.
no, Mr.
Now, let me
Achakzai,
respond.
I want a basic
And in my
answer.
opinion,
Meenakshi
the state
Lekhi,
has
please
not
hold.
acted
Meenakshi
properly
Lekhi.
Okay, let me
because
respond
the
to now.
dossier and other evidence very clearly
Meenakshi
across
Lekhi,
the
let
world
there be
suggests
no crosstalk,
that there
please.
are terrorists who
Mr.
were involved
Achakzai.
in 26/11 and they have got
Meenakshi
shelter
Lekhi,
on
there is no point.
Pakistani
Meenakshi
soil.
Lekhi, please hold.
No court in the world working in any democratic country will allow that act under the national and international conventions. The fact they have got off after being granted bail or have been granted bail, in my assessment, the investigating agencies and the prosecuting agencies have not
Okay,
done
Meenakshi
their
Lekhi, I'm
job
putting your
right.
fader down for a moment. Mr. Achakzai, you have a military court for Peshawar terror attack. Why can't there be a military court for 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks? 30 seconds response, sir.
That was condemnable act. We have already condemned it. We have
Condemnation
zero
is not
tolerance with
required.
any
Action is
terrorism,
required, sir.
Any terrorism. I'm sorry. You are putting something without any evidence. Now, what we have done is that we have launched operation against all sorts of militants in Pakistan. We have made sure that all sponsors of terrorism, including the Indian-backed terrorists in Balochistan, have to be dealt with, so that India, through Afghanistan, stop interfering in Balochistan.
No,
We have
why aren't you
provided
responding on
proof to India,
26/11? What
to
is
UN,
wrong with you? Why can't
to
you respond on
America.
26/11? Why cannot you respond on
Now, as far as
26/11?
26/11, our courts work according to the evidence, presented to them. You don't have any evidence. You are just
Why
claiming
don't you
it,
generate
and
that
you want
evidence?
to-
That conspiracy was
and
hatched
you
in
want-
your country.
Well,
Why don't you
that is
generate
what
that evidence?
That is your wishful thinking. The law works according to the proofs, and the courts work according to meaningful evidences. Just because you are sitting on the telly and dictating us, we cannot frame allegations against citizens of Pakistan. So
Tell me
don't
this.
blame what you are doing
Tell
in
me this.
Kashmir.
Okay,
Don't
30
blame
seconds.
What you are doing
30
with
seconds.
your
You've
own
had your 30
minority.
seconds. Now
Don't
keep quiet.
blame what
Now
you are
please
doing
keep quiet.
in
Let me get Meenakshi
Afghanistan.
Lekhi in.
Don't blame what you are doing against
Meenakshi
Pakistan
Lekhi,
on us, and then
for a
play the
speedy
game of
trial.
being
For a
innocent.
speedy.
India
Mr.
is
Achakzai,
not
you've had your.
innocent
Don't
country.
rant now.
You have
Don't
got a
rant.
foreign policy.
Enough of ranting.
That-
Now
that-
hold.
Let me
Now
finish.
hold.
Let me finish this.
Please put his
Mr.
fader down.
Achakzai,
I'll just tell my
Mr.
producers to put his fader
Achakzai,
down. Meenakshi Lekhi.
Mr. Achakzai.
No, Meenakshi Lekhi, respond to this.
Mr.
Should government
Achakzai,
of
your
India, Meenakshi
attitude,
Lekhi,
your
should government of
attitude-
India now not say that
Yes,
there should be a military court to try 26/11 like Peshawar? Will government of India make that demand? Should government of India make that demand?
No, there should be military court. I don't know under whichever legal system it has to be handled, it needs to be handled. Whether they choose to have military court or they choose to have criminal court under the civil jurisdiction, either way, my point is very simple. When international agencies and people who are caught in different areas, I mean, David Headley is not in Indian custody, he's in
Ma'am,
American
that point
custody.
is clear. I want
there
to
are
move
people
forward.
who are
Meenakshi
on
Lekhi, I
Pakistani
want to
soil
move
and Lakshmi
forward.
was actually caught.
That
No, my
point
point
is
is very
decided.
simple.
So the
My point
conspiracy
is-
was in Pakistan. They are not
Gaurav,
proceeding.
my
Will
point
your
is very
government
simple.
insist there should be a military
it
court
is not
to try?
decided. The point, no, No, my government's insistence is not going to help solve the matter. It is for the Pakistanis to show to the world their seriousness towards handling terrorism. Otherwise, their seriousness itself is suspect. And they can't have good and bad terrorists and
Yes.
use terrorism as an instrument, and which is my allegation against Pakistan, that Pakistan is using terrorism as an instrument of statecraft in attacking India. And it is very clear that people who were found guilty on our side have not been dealt with adequately because they were sponsored by the state.
Yes. Okay. Let me get Mr. Achakzai to respond to that. Mr. Achakzai,
Okay, what I'm
Maulvi
saying
Abdul
is,
Salam.
let me respond.
Arey, at least hear the question,
Now,
sir. Sir,
let me
hear the
respond to
question.
what
Hear the
Honorable
question
MP
first.
said.
Hear the question first. Don't jump the gun. Hear the question. The question
Go
is,
ahead.
Maulvi Abdul Salam, Hazrat Ali, Mujibur Rahman, Sabil alias Yahya, all of them were executed this morning in the Kohat jail. How are they different from Hafiz Zaid, Zakir Rahman Lakwi and Zarar Shah? How are they different?
Okay, 2 points. 2 points. Now, let me explain about the military court that you mentioned, and Honorable MP has said that. The Indian advisor Ajit Deval has openly said that he has been sponsoring terrorism in
I
Balochistan.
am sorry, can you
We would
respond to my
also
question?
ask Military.
Can you respond to
we
my
would also
question?
ask
Forget
military
rhetoric.
court
I don't
that
want
he
to
should
talk
be
about
tried in
Ajit
military
Doval.
courts
Respond to my
sponsoring
question,
in
sir.
Balochistan.
Respond to my
would
question.
you have a military court for Ajit Deval to be tried because he is interfering in Balochistan and FATA? We would also demand, we would also like to put him on trial because we have provided the proof for him that he is destabilizing Pakistan, that he has been involved in
Boss,
internal
you've
terrorism
lost
of Pakistan.
150
The
children.
Raw-
You've lost 150
The
children.
Raw is sponsoring a proxy war in Balochistan and Karachi and FATA and also Afghanistan.
Meenakshi
so will you establish
Lekhi,
military courts for
Meenakshi
them?
Lekhi,
Will you,
Meenakshi
will
Lekhi.
you,
What
will you create
decides under
military
your
court for
jurisdiction,
Raw?
which matter
For
will
Raw
go to the
militant
military
Raw to
court
be
and which matter will
tried
go to the
in
civil
military
criminal court?
So why you are not responding to my answer? My question is the Indian establishment
No,
need
no,
to
but
think
why are
that
you posting a
sponsoring
question?
terrorism
Why are
in
you posing a
Balochistan.
question in
Now,
response to a
Hafiz
question?
Saeed,
Why can't you give me answers?
Hafiz Saeed, okay,
Yes,
here I'm
respond to
giving you
Hafiz
answer.
Saeed.
Listen to me if you want to. Listen to me if you want, if you have the guts. Hafiz Saeed is a Pakistani citizen. There is no evidence against him. If you have it, give it to Pakistan and we prove it in the court of law. We are not a kangaroo courts. It's not that you are sitting there dictating what justice you would like us
Meenakshi
to do. It is
Lekhi,
the court of
you've
Pakistan has to
heard
decide
Jan Mohammad
what is
Achakzai
just,
in
not
given
what
this
you wish us
situation.
to be doing
Given
it.
this situation,
sorry.
okay, should India actually be moving forward to playing cricket with Pakistan or restoring ties with Pakistan when Pakistan takes absolutely no action against India-centric terrorists, Meenakshi Lekhi? Should we be playing cricket with them? This is their attitude?
You see, I'm not in a position to share my personal opinion, and I think Government of India's decision on this is awaited, and I'm also waiting for that decision.
What is your personal decision, Meenakshi Lekhi? What is your personal opinion on this?
No personal decision. As a responsible member, I am not in a position to give any opinion. But one opinion is very clear, that we want justice for the victims of 26/11, especially in view of what is happening in Paris,
Yes.
ISIS, involvement in Taliban in Afghanistan,
Yes.
the kind of terrorism which is getting sponsored from the Pakistani soil.
Yes.
These are issues of international concern.
And you concede that
duplicity
Pakistan has
cannot
done
be
nothing.
tolerated. One very simple
Yes.
question I had for the guest from Pakistan, and that was that what decides in your country what kind of jurisdiction will go to military court and what kind of jurisdiction will go to the civil criminal courts? Kindly explain, because if one set of terrorists go before one court,
Yes.
why are the other set of terrorists not taken to the same court?
And Mr. Achakzai, when you go home tonight, you and your fellow countrymen, and especially your government and your army, should think about this. Why is it that the Peshawar terrorists have been hanged and no action has been taken against the Mumbai attackers, including Hafiz Mohammad Saeed, Zarar Shah,
And
Zakir Rahman
you would
Lakwi,
also
and
sleep.
several
You would also-
others? For the
you would
moment,
also
many
have-
thanks for joining me here on the broadcast. It is sincerely hoped that Pakistan will take action against India-centric terror before India decides to resume normal ties with Pakistan. For the moment, Many thanks for joining me on the broadcast.
Evacuation is underway at the BBC's new broadcasting house and a number of other London offices due to a suspicious vehicle. We're also being told of reports of hundreds of people